Well, what's up, guys? It is MattTGamingHD here. First things I want to clear up, I'm sorry my voice sounds a little bit different on this. This is because I'm actually recording this on my laptop right now. I'm not using my actual microphone to record this. And secondly, what you're seeing on the screen right now is the new for 2018 channel art, which will be incorporated onto the channel after the new year has been rung in. So once 2018 gets underway, one of the first things I'm going to do once all the celebrations have done is change the channel art to this brand new design. So what I'm going to talk about is I'm kind of going to review the year 2017 in general, and also talk about what's to come in 2018, particularly in terms of this channel. As far as life goes, it's been a very topsy-turvy year. I mean, it started off kind of like the previous 2 years left off, where I was spending too much time on my PC, struggling for a social life for many reasons, and until like June I thought I was going to be leaving college until I discovered this art foundation course, which I decided to do, and that is one of the best decisions I've ever made, because so far I've had an absolutely brilliant year in art, as I'm doing so many things that I enjoy. My social life is improving, so doing this course has worked for me in all ways, and also it's going to give me the preparation I need for when I start university next year. A little bit of a life update there, but now I'm going to talk about this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, I mean, kind of like in real life, had a bit of a slow start to the year. I mean, I uploaded many FSR videos, and obviously I did my Autosport blog and things like that. I remember at the beginning of the year, I had done 5 episodes of the Buddy Simpson series for season 1, and I did actually record the Monaco episode, as I said before, but because it just wasn't getting the views, I just lost my motivation to do it, and I just didn't want to do it because it just wasn't getting the views, and I was struggling to think of ways I could tell the story that I wanted to tell. And in the end, I didn't continue that series, even though I would start it back up again, as you know, which I'm going to go on to later. But until then, all I was really uploading was my motorsport vlogs and my FSR videos. I mean, I uploaded a few other bits of F1 content when the new game got released, but I wasn't really uploading much. And then I was actually considering, is YouTube really my thing? Because my channel was just not picking up, and I was starting to think to myself, maybe I shouldn't put too much effort into a YouTube channel. But I want to continue doing it, and I mean, bear in mind I'm doing this as a hobby, not like extensively, but now I thought of a great way I could continue the Buddy Simpson series. I mean, obviously I'd done 5 episodes, so I had to come up with a damage control method to come up with a reason why there was no episodes in that world, and that reason was that obviously, as you know, Buddy Simpson had a massive crash when testing for the Indy 500, and which actually led to some great scenes so far this series. And so far, I mean, it's not got as much views as I'm hoping, but my channel is picking up subscribers a lot more quickly than it was before. And at the moment the series is in a bit of a break, and this was part of the plan all along. In fact, it really worked, because my plan was to have a break for Christmas all along when I started this series, before starting it back up again in around January. And the fact that the last episode I did before Christmas was Hungary, so it's a fitting time to have the break, really makes this Christmas break work. And I'm expecting it'll be a after Christmas, when I start this series back up, it will be around 2 weeks between the episodes. I mean, the reason, that was actually my original plan for the Star series, but because I've always been desperate to record. But the reason why I'm planning on doing 2 weeks between episodes is because I kind of want the series to not end too late, but I want it to stretch out a bit. I don't want it to end too early. So that's why you can expect maybe 2 weeks between episodes after when I start this thing up again for the Belgium episode. So that's going to be interesting. But I did pick up subscribers. I'm hoping to get up to 100 soon. I know it's a pathetic number in the grand scheme of things, but I am getting there with this YouTube channel. I'm hoping that soon that will happen. I was hoping I'd be able to get to 100 by the end of the year, which obviously didn't happen, which is a bit of a disappointment, but hopefully it will happen soon. I also uploaded things like my motorsport vlogs, obviously from all the typical motorsport events that I would go to, which is the BTCC races from Brands Hatch and Thruxton. Obviously this year was the first year going to the Indy one as well, the season opener. Autosport International, and of course Silverstone as well. And that is kind of what I did. Also, obviously, I did the FSR highlights, which I am expecting to continue next year. I mean, I will be continuing in the series next year. I'm presuming I'll be doing my videos in a similar format to what I did this year, or I might do them in a similar format to the old league racing videos that I did on F1. So that's what you can expect next year. Obviously that's what I did, so expect all the stuff that I'm currently doing next year. So now this brings me on to 2018. I've reviewed 2017 now. I mean, I will be talking more about stuff that happened in 2017 in motorsport later on in the video. But 2018, I mean, in life it's going to be a big year for me because I will be going to university in around the September-October time. And I'm going to talk about how that could affect my YouTube channel later on, when I talk about it. But that's not before I finish my art foundation course, which obviously I'll be finishing in around May-June time. Hopefully after Christmas goes as well as before Christmas did. So now talking about my YouTube plans for the year. I mean, you all know my plans with Buddy Simpson, so I'm expecting that the first episode back, which will obviously be the Belgian race, and I'm expecting maybe around the second week in January that will be up. And then, as I said before, I'm expecting to be doing 2-week breaks between episodes, because firstly I want the series to stretch out to around May time, and secondly it would give me more time to make these episodes better than ever. Because I can tell you, the script that I've got, I mean, half of it, if I can't make it feasible, which I'm hoping to be able to, half of it may not be able to happen, but even if that, I'm still expecting the second half of the Buddy Simpson to be crazy. You may think you've seen it all. Bobby Simpson smashing a TV in a window, Bobby Simpson literally getting really angry. You wait and see what I have planned. And at the end of the season, something that I need to say, anything that doesn't go out, my plan is to release the scripts of all the scenes that don't take place at the end of the season when it's finished. Now, I just want to say, I mean, I've received a lot of comments saying that it's poorly executed, this series. I mean, I want to say this. I am putting a lot of effort into this series. I mean, yes, it's not as good as if it's got actors and actresses in it. I mean, yes, it doesn't look as realistic. But this is the best way that I can tell this story. If there was a better way, I would do it. Like, if I had actors and actresses that were willing to take part in this, then I would. But right now, this is the best way I can do it. I mean, I know I've got a lot of limitations with me being the only actor in it, but I feel that what I've done so far is the best that's possible. So please be understanding and please appreciate it for what it is. I've written a very interesting story and I want to be able to portray it in an exciting way. And I will try to do that no matter what method it is. No matter whether I've got anyone to play the roles of Bobby Simpson. I mean, I'd still play the role of Buddy Simpson for a reason, because the idea is the character of Buddy Simpson is basically similar to me and what I'd be like as a Formula 1 driver. But please be understanding to the fact that the way I'm doing it is the best that I can, and basically appreciate it for what it is. And I am trying really hard. And anyone that has appreciated that, I thank you so much. So now talking about it, going back to what's going to happen. So once the season's finished, which will be around May time, I'm presuming then there'll be around like a 4-month break before F1 2018 comes out. And I think I've not fully decided if there's going to be a season 3 of Buddy Simpson yet, but I think there will be. I think just go by the assumption that there will be. I mean, the whole reason I just want to think a bit more about it is just to think of how well it would go down, whether there's any point still doing it, whether there's still a point doing it, and how much work I've got to do, whether I've got time to do it. So I've got to take those into consideration. So that's what you can expect when it comes to Buddy Simpson. So when it comes to other stuff, motorsport vlogs, expect the usual motorsport vlogs. Obviously Silverstone, I'm probably going to be doing it in that 2-part format that I did it in this year, which I think really worked, because I remember for the past few years I've had complaints that my Silverstone and also all my other vlogs are a bit too long. But the way I did it this year was I did the Thursday and the Friday in one bit, and the Saturday and the Sunday in the other bit. And I think that worked very well. I didn't think my editing on the Saturday and Sunday bit was the best, but obviously that's to work on. Also expect other motorsport events such as BTCC races in Brands Hatch and Thruxton and maybe somewhere else, and Autosport as well. Also keeping my hopes open for a second Formula 1 race. I keep my hopes open every year, but hoping this year will finally be the year. If that does happen, there will be a vlog from it on this channel, so expect that if it happens. And also, as I said, I'll also have the FSR highlights to go on this channel, and I'll probably be doing them in a similar format to the way I did it, just basically from my point of view describing, even though I might do it in my old F1 League racing format. But so basically everything that was on the channel this year, expect to continue on next year. I'm also considering doing other things, like I'm thinking about doing maybe weekly shows on particular motorsport topics, like discussing maybe podcasts discussing the latest happenings in the motorsport world. For example, I remember I did this before but it didn't go down that well and then I stopped it, but I'm hoping that I can do it in a way that people would listen to if I voice my opinion on things and stuff like that. and many things. So I remember I was kind of just talking about it rather than voicing my opinion, talking about things interesting. So I'm considering doing that this year, and also I'm considering, I've got many other series ideas potentially that can happen. I've always wanted to do something on R-Factor 2, but I've kind of already got that with FSR. But I'm not really sure what else to say when it comes to what to expect on YouTube. I mean, if I have any new series idea that's feasible, then I will end up doing it. But now talking about the year in general when it comes to motorsport, like, F1 saw a decent season. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. I think it was higher than the V6 era's standards so far. Like, it did see a title battle. I mean, as much as you know my opinion on Vettel, which I'm not going to say in this video, as I don't want to get any hate, but it was a bit of a shame to see the title decided the way it was. Not just that, but I didn't like the fact that Hamilton's secured it with a 9th place finish. I would have wished he was able to celebrate it on the podium, which meant we weren't able to see as much of his celebrations as I wanted us to be able to, as we would have wanted. But still saw some good races, such as Baku, and races like that. Formula 2 and GP3, all the junior divisions. Formula 2, well, that Leclerc guy is a god. Charles Leclerc, I am really looking forward to seeing how he's going to get on. The only thing I'm disappointed about his promotion is that it's in a Sauber. I wished he was in a better team than a Sauber, because he has what it takes to go all the way in F1. I mean, the fact that he dominated, secured the title with 3 races to spare, despite bad luck, that for any normal driver would have cost them the title. Just incredible. He should have secured it in, like, Spa. And then GP3, George Russell, I'm excited to see how this guy gets on in the future. I've also been starting to follow a few more motorsports this year. Like, I've been with no CRC, I've had more time to follow other motorsport categories. Like, I followed the European Formula 3. Really excited to see how Lando Norris gets on in Formula 2 next year. I also followed the British Formula 4. I mean, that was obviously a season marred by the events of Donington, what happened to Billy Munger, but I'm going to talk a bit more about him in a moment. Jamie Caroline dominating that season. I really hope that we see him in a top-level international motorsport such as Formula 3 or GP3 next year, because he deserves it. He just put together such a good season. BTCC, Ashley Sutton winning the championship. I mean, obviously, as you know, I was at Brands Hatch for that finale. I was ashamed that the title was decided the way it was, but still a deserving champion in Ash Sutton. And IndyCar, Joseph Newgarden, great guy, great driver. Indy 500, Takuma Sato, what a race that was. I mean, it's a shame what happened to Fernando, but still, it was an utterly thrilling race, the Indy 500. And now moving on to 2018, I think we could be in for a good season of motorsport in general in 2018. Like, 2018, I'm hoping that the 3 top teams, like Red Bull, were obviously, as you know, very off at the start of 2017. They weren't really proper front runners, or they were front runners, but not really race winning pace until around Hungary, even though Ricciardo won in Baku, but that was by luck. I don't underestimate Daniel in any way. He is a very good driver, but that win was a little bit lucky. Like, the car wasn't good enough to win at that stage. But I'm hoping that basically the 3 teams start where they left off in 2017. Or not where they left off in Abu Dhabi, but where they were in Brazil. Because then we could be in for a close season. Hopefully McLaren are up there with the new Renault engine. I want to see Fernando. We could be in for a very good season in Formula 1. Also junior single-seaters with the likes of Lando Norris in Formula 2. GP3 could be an interesting season. Billy Munger's returned to single-seaters, and now it's my time to talk about him. As I said, I'd mention him later. One of the biggest stories of motorsport in 2017. I mean, what happened to him was utterly unimaginable. Like, I followed him. I mean, obviously he'd been on the touring car support package, and before then, or around that time, I wasn't really following Formula 4 that closely. But it was actually the Thruxton race afterwards that's got me to follow Formula 4, because that was an epic race. But Billy Munger, I remember hearing his name quite a lot when I was attending touring car races, when he was obviously on the support bill, and for that to happen to him. But now for him to be on the verge of a single-seater return is just amazing. And I am so looking forward to seeing how he's going to get on wherever he drives. I'm so looking forward. So that's rounding up. So basically this video, I rounded up the 2017 and what's to come in 2018. So now I want to end this video with thank you for everyone that has watched and supported my YouTube channel this year. Thank you very much to anyone that subscribed. I know I've had quite a few new subscribers this year, so thank you very much. And make sure you like and subscribe, because I'm super excited for what's to come in 2018. It's going to be a good year, hopefully, for this YouTube channel. Hopefully it's a good year for Formula 1 and motorsport in general. And make sure you, as I just said, make sure you like, subscribe, and for one last time in 2017, goodbye, and see you on the other side.